Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 3 here in the EMC to the Sky. We are going to be doing some more work in our quest book today so that we can finish off the first chapter here. We're also going to, we already finished the second chapter, or the second part of the first chapter, and we have finished the tinkering as far as we're going to go. Today, we're going to be working on the Road to Steel, which is getting into immersive engineering and getting to the point where we can do a little bit of automation so that we can craft some things. Before we get started with that, I think I want to do a little bit of cleanup around here. May have noticed I've been putting these episodes out a little faster than I had originally said, just because I'm kind of excited to get into it and I want to play through. So I'm going to put the episodes out a little bit faster. As we get into things later on and I'm doing other things, it will start to slow down. But I'm going to play it as long as I'm having fun with it, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. So first things first, I'm going to grab a bucket here, a couple of buckets, and we're just going to pick up all this water and the lava here, because now that we have cobblestone that we can get from EMC, I do not need the cobblestone generator anymore. We also have the lava and water in here to reproduce, so we don't need it. I did finish one round of coal coke in here and made some treated wood planks. I'll show you that in just a minute. And while we did that, a wandering trader came in, and so we got leather and a lead from that. And because they're both EMCable, that means we now have infinite leather and infinite leads, which is great. We're going to break down this whole structure here for the cobblestone generator because it's just in our way. It was a really cool setup for them to have it there, that we had one where we can get multiple cobblestone, but we are not going to be grinding away collecting cobblestone that way in this pack. So time for it to go. And all of these items that we have, including the diorite polished slabs, are all EMCable, so they'll just get put back in here and put away. I think I'm also gonna see, this is granite. I want to get that replaced with cobblestone just to make everything look normal or flush across there. Mostly I just don't like granite. Granite is disgusting looking. I've never have liked it. I never will. So let's fill these in. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to main mine the whole thing. I don't care if we lose a little bit of it to the void, because it's all EMCable and we can replace it. So then we can fill this in with cobblestone all the way around, and that'll give us a lot more space to work. More granite to get rid of. Probably gonna have to put something underneath there. There we go, no more granite. A little more cobblestone to do the job. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is what we set up for our coke oven here. So the coke oven, we put in coal, we get coal coke, we get the creosote oil, and the buckets in here allow us to pull out the creosote oil, which we're using to make our treated wood planks. In order to semi-automate this to make it easier for us, I just made a crafting station, and I put it here. And so because the crafting station connects to inventories that are next to it, it actually connects to here, and I can see the inventory here. So all I do is I take the bucket of creosote oil, I craft the treated planks, I shift click the bucket back in, and I shift click the bucket of creosote, goes into the only open spot. And so I can fly through doing this until we are out of creosote, just like so. And because this is a crafting station, the planks stay in there, and I can just keep doing that. And I'm working on continuing to get coal coke for us, so I think we have enough now to do what we need. We're going to work on making the engineer's workbench today. So the engineer's workbench, bring it up here in our, I think is this the JEI? There's a couple different versions that I play on different mod packs. So I didn't know if it was REI or JEI or EMI. It's JEI today. So what we're going to do is let's take these off of here. Our engineer's workbench, we're going to add, and then we're going to add the things we need to craft to make that. So we need an engineer's table. We need to make some slabs. We need to make some fence. To make the fence, we need treated sticks. To make the engineer's crafting table, we have everything we need there, but we'll have to make one crafting table here. Add that to our list too. And then everything else is all things that we can craft just fine. So we need our crafting table here. We're going to make some slabs. And I'm not going to make too many because these are not EMCable, so I can't just change them back whenever I'm done with them. But I do need to make fence posts. To make the fence posts, I just need to make one of them. So we're going to have to craft 3 because that is how it is. But we're not going to go overboard is what I'm saying. Let's just craft this. We'll do those 3 of those. And that means we can take that one off the list. And in here, we also need to craft this, which means we need to make a crafting table. We're going to need some regular planks for that. And now we should have everything to make this. Oh, we need a couple more treated sticks. We can craft our engineer's crafting table, which we can use to craft the engineer's workbench once we grab some iron. And there you go. So even when it is something that is not made with items that have EMC, items that do have EMC being able to just be picked up and thrown into the system is a good thing. Oh, did treated sticks get... Treated sticks do have EMC. That's interesting. One of the few things here that do. Good to know. But we have all of these items here that are just extras, but we have made our engineer's workbench, and we're going to just sit that over here. I think I'm going to put it right here. We're going to kind of make a immersive engineering section over here. And we'll go from there, figure out what we need. The blueprint that we get, we can put in here. That shows us the different things we can make. The next thing on our list is to make, we're going to make a kiln just to get the quest off. And because we might need it. Kiln, I believe, is made with brick and sandstone, which I think I've already got both of those in here. Sandstone right here and brick right here, which means that all we need to do is take sandstone, brick. These are EMCable, so we just need to craft it one time. We can put it in. And then pull a stack back out, just like we always do. Works pretty well. So this is our kiln bricks. They're used to make an alloy kiln. So that is a 2x2 structure from Immersive Engineering. And here we go. So that should finish up our quest here. Next one is to make the blast bricks. Those use brick, nether brick, and magma blocks. So brick, nether brick, and magma block. So we're going to put this here. Oh, I have those backwards. We'll just craft them all into a stack. These are also EMCable, so we'll just put one in there. But all we need for this is another 27 block multi-structure with the 3x3 on the bottom. And then it goes 3 tall as well. And once again, you smack it with the engineer's hammer, and there we go. We have our setup here. So our next step after we have done this is to grab some iron. And this is how we're going to be making steel. So we throw in a stack of iron, and we use our coal coke to heat it, and that will produce steel ingots and steel scrap for us. Or I think it's just called slag. But we're going to need to let this go for quite a while because we need a good handful of steel. And unfortunately, steel ingots are not EMCable, just like most of the immersive engineering stuff. So we're going to actually have to let this run for a while. We can continue to get more creosote and coal coke if we need it, but I'm pretty sure we have plenty to get how much we want to get done. We're going to let that go, and while we're doing that, let's grab some more coal and throw it back into our table. And there we go. So now all we have to do is wait for our steel to get finished. While we're waiting on more steel, we have about 20. We have done a few other things. I expanded the island out just to have a space to work. And I'm going to work on finishing out some other parts of the quest line up here. So we're going to work on these quests here to get some animals to spawn. So for leather, it says using cow bait near water, grass, and a tree. This will allow cows to spawn. So we have grass here. I'm going to put some water down. So there is water over there. I don't know if it'll be enough to do what we need. So I'm going to need a bucket. Actually, I can just grab a bucket of water. Ooh, a couple of them. And I'm going to just make a little section here with some water. And then I'm going to jump into it. And I'm going to just put a bottom to it. These slabs. And we'll make another one there. That's why we have an infinite pool. Oh, that's right. We can't put it on the slab because it'll waterlog the slab. Now to make the actual cow bait, all we need to do is take wheat times 2 and go like this. And we have cow bait. We'll put that one down. Place more blocks from the animal's home biome here. So I think I need more. Basically, I think that's saying we need more grass. So let's go with, we'll do dirt. And we'll just do a few at a time just to see how much we need. I don't remember if grass seeds had EMC. I don't think they did. But the grass seeds were... Grass seeds was a biocapsule with wheat seed. So let's grab some seeds. We have some biocapsules over here. Okay, a little more than that. Let's go this way. A little bit more biocapsules just by adding more water into our biogenerator here. Cool. Put down a little more grass. I'm not quite sure how much grass we need. I'm going to just keep expanding this a little bit off camera, and then we will get this to work. After some extensive testing and fooling around, I figured out what the problem is. I thought I had a tree, I had water, and I had grass. I should have spawning, but it doesn't mean grass blocks. It means grass. Once I grew some grass, it now says you are too close. Animals are scared away. So we just move farther away. And we wait for some time. We should get that to spawn in a cow for us. We have plenty of steel going here, but we just need to wait for the cow bait to actually spawn a cow. So I'll come back once we have a cow. All right, I can see our cow has spawned over there, and he wandered off a little bit. The quest says to pet one gently with a sword. So that got us the leather. I have a bunch of junk in my inventory. Let's get rid of some of the things that are EMCable. The leather we had already gotten from our wandering trader, but now we got it from there, which is fine. And we also have raw beef added to our system. And that checks off our quest here. We also need to do the same with a feather, and to get a chicken, we just need to use seeds. Get a couple of those. The chicken bait is like this. Chicken bait, I think, should be the same. That's same biome, so it should be fine. And then the last one we need is so we need to gather up some eggs. So we need to get a chicken to spawn to give us a feather and eggs, and then we'll be done with the first quest line. So we'll let that go for a minute, and while we're waiting for them, let's check on here. We have our 30 steel, so now we've gotten ourselves a drawer controller and a drawer key, which is very nice. And the next task is for us to make all the things we need to make a metal press, and that will give us a kinetic dynamo so we can get into our first foray into power. That would be pretty cool. But let's check out this. So we're finished with the time for tinkering. We're finished with bioresources. The chicken will get us finished with that, and this is all we're working on right now. So this is going to require a bunch of crafting using the steel that we just made and some other things. So I'm going to go through and make a checklist of all that, get things ready, and we'll get that built, and then we'll use this area to set up a little bit of power and a metal press so that we have the metal press. The metal press is going to be required when we go into tier 2, because to make the things at the metal press, to make the things for tier 2, I mean, we need to take a tier 1 compressed agglomerate and press it to get our tier 2 catalyst. So that is why we need to get the metal press up and running. Once we get into tier 2, we can get into diamond level, which is pretty far advanced from where we are right now. I got all of our animals to spawn, and I left a couple of chickens up so that I could get some eggs, which I have done. I also spawned in some other animals like pigs and sheep, so that I could get some of them knocked out to get some of their resources. I already had wool, but didn't need that. But we were able to get pork chops, mutton, the chicken from the chickens. We have tallow, which doesn't have an EMC. We also got some inferium, which doesn't have an EMC. So we have our feathers, and we have our eggs that we learned. And that also completed our chapter. I'm going to get rid of these chickens and just turn them into EMC. We don't have any more use for them at the moment. So if we look at our chapters now, we are finished with all of the first 3 parts of our process here, and we're still working on Road to Steel. So I went through and I queued up a few of the things we need. The next thing I need to figure out is we need our engineer's manual. I was looking through what we need, and in here, that one of the things that we need is scaffolding. And when I click on it to view the recipe, I don't see it. I don't understand it in here because it's scaffolding becomes scaffolding. I think there must be something we have to do with engineering here. So if we go in and find it, I think it would be under. It should be under simple machines. Conveyor belts, item router. Or maybe it is heavy machinery. Metal press. There we go. Metal press is an automated way of shaping metal. Okay, those are how we make the molds for it. How do we actually make the scaffolding block? That's what I'm not sure about. So let's see. Is there a thing in here that shows us just the scaffolding? Crafting components. Oh, that is that stuff. Metal plates is obviously the plates. I think I'm going to have to look through and figure out exactly what we need to do for the scaffolding, and then we'll be able to craft the rest of the items here that we need and get a metal press set up. Okay, turns out I simply just didn't go far enough. On this page, there's a second page. We use steel ingots and steel rods. Steel rods are made with 2 steel ingots. So I think that we have enough steel, but I'm going to grab some more here and throw some more iron into this blast furnace, and then grab some coal coke from our coke oven and put it in here just so to make sure that we have enough to do that. I think I need to look about getting a tank to put the creosote in. What options do we have for that? We have the create fluid tank. It's not something I want to get into too far yet. I can make these fluid tanks for mechanism. So let's grab some redstone and some iron, and I'm going to craft. They have an EMC value, so I just need to craft one. Put that in, and let's just grab a couple of these. And I'm going to just sit them over here next to our system. So basically for now, I want to empty out a little bit of creosote in here so that we can actually have some space for it to work, so we can keep making more coal coke, because that is preventing us from doing that. I wonder if we have, I know we have made pipes already, so do we have access to fluid pipes yet? Fluid pipes would just be iron, buckets, and redstone. So let's make that. Grab bucket, iron, redstone. So we'll craft some fluid pipes. Teach the system how to make those. And while we're in here, we'll grab a pipe wrench. And so then what we're going to do, I think if I connect this on the side of the multi-block here, I actually need a couple of pipes. Let's see. So if we do output here, and then we connect these up to all of these, disconnect this and this, then that means those tanks can get filled up with the creosote, and this will be empty, which means if I grab some more coal and throw it in here, it'll all keep processing. Even when this gets filled with creosote, it'll just keep going until these are full. That'll give us plenty more, and we can get a little more steel. So let's go through the process here and craft a few things. So having an engineering block, we're going to need a steel block. We're also going to need steel sheet metal, which is made with the plates. The plates are made with our engineer's hammer. I think I actually put that away over here in my toolbox. So if we do this, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That gives us 4 sheet metal, which is enough to make one of these. And we need to make steel mechanical components. That's copper and steel plates. So let's grab copper and steel plates. I think we're going to need to make a few more. And then to make this, we're actually going to need 4 of those. So let's do that 4 more times. So for each one, I need 4. So I'm going to need 12 of these. And we can craft our heavy engineering block in this recipe. That takes off 1. This is all things we needed for that. The steel scaffolding, use steel rods and steel. So let's do this recipe will give us 4. We can do 3 like that and 3 like that. It'll give us 6 scaffolding, which is more than we need. And then we need to make a piston. So for that, we're going to need to grab cobblestone. And we're going to need to grab planks. And we have redstone. We'll grab some more and we'll grab some iron. And we need to make a piston. Pistons, fortunately, are EMCable. That's the last piston we'll ever have to craft. We need to make a redstone engineering block, which is 4 the sheet metal, 4 redstone, and copper. So the sheet metal, all we do is make the iron sheets. Got to be a different iron sheet recipe. I think that there is a recipe. It's just this. Yeah, that's right. So each 4 of these gives us 4, and 4 is what we need, so we're good there. And then we need our redstone engineering block. There we go. So we have everything but the conveyor belts. Conveyor belts require us to use the leather that we have, plus redstone and iron. And we put leather in here, so we're set for that. So we're just going to make 1 recipe of this because they are EMCable, which means we're done with all of these recipes. Now we just need to assemble the metal press. So to do that, I'm going to look at the recipe in here. It should show us the way that we have to do it. So it's 2 scaffolding with an engineering block in between. Get some space on here, so I'm going to put it kind of over here on the side. We'll have those. And then on the next layer, we have scaffolding with a piston and scaffolding. Or not scaffolding, conveyor belt, piston, and I don't know if the direction of these matter, but I think we can rotate them. Have them facing the same way. And then let's look at the book again. The last thing is, okay, so it's this block on top. We'll put this here so we can place this on top. We'll get rid of this and we'll place the piston underneath there so it faces the way we want it to. And then all we have to do is click on the piston, right click on the piston with our hammer, and we have made a metal press. Cool. We get a kinetic dynamo out of that. And if we look at our quest book, it says the dynamo has been provided. So I got the dynamo. We need to use these things that it's given us. And we have 2 options for power generation. So we have the water wheel and the windmill. And so I'm going to craft both of those because we have quests for both. And we'll get them set up and connect them for power and get this running so that we're ready to move into tier 2. Gotten both the water wheel and the windmill constructed, and I just kind of put them in place in some spots here just to see how they worked and how the animations looked. And I have some plans for them for down the road, but for now, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of the windmill, and we'll take this block off too. We'll just leave the water wheel just kind of free floating, just so we can test with how this works. We have the dynamo that gets put on here, and then we're going to put our connector like this. And even though that's a really short run of wire, we're going to connect the wire coil from here to there. Oh, it says it's obstructed. Okay, so let's do... Let's take this down. Actually, before we do that, let's grab this water. I don't want the water going everywhere. We're going to grab this. I'm going to just move this down, the whole setup down just a little bit. We'll come over here. The water wheel itself attaches kind of like this. I think that's because there's blocks in the way, so let's move the blocks down here. There we go, we have that. And then I'm going to use some cobblestone to build up here. And then I believe we want the water kind of right there. Let's put it like this. But that's going to get it going. I wonder if I block this, yeah, that stops it from flowing, so we need that there. If I put a block there, does that stop it from flowing? It does. That gets it going. Let's see if we stop it right there. Does that also stop it from flowing? Can't tell if it's moving slower or not. Let's take this block out and see what happens. Let's leave it like that. So we're going to remove these support blocks from around the water. We're just going to have the water kind of free flowing down like this. And that should mean that we have our connector here. That maybe that will give us enough space for this to connect up. It does. The other option we have, let's just do this just to test it out. If we put a pole in the middle here, we just go like right here, and we put a, actually, let's go up a couple more. Then I'm going to break these blocks. And I'm doing this just because they gave us a relay for this, so we might as well try it out. Here, this tool. So we have a relay, put that hanging from there, put the connector back on there. We'll do the coil. We'll connect it from here to here, and from here down to here. And that will mean that this is getting power, hopefully. Assuming I have this going the right direction. Try to put a piece on there. See what happens with it. I think we can probably just put one on there. Maybe not. Maybe we need to feed it on. We also need to put on a press, but looks like we're okay. We have power flowing. It doesn't look like we do right there. Let's grab a hammer. I think that was the issue. I think I had that backward. Yeah, because we have flow on there now. And I think that, yeah, this is now building up with power. So we have to have the graphic on the dynamo is that there's a black circle, which is where the gear is. That faces towards the power generator. And then we can run a cable like this. We'll be able to do some pretty neat looking buildings where we have actual structures generating power and we're feeding power over to our thing. And this is very slow, but we're going to use this metal press when we get into the next chapter to craft the things we need to progress. So we don't need it to be super fast. We just need to use it so we can actually make the things. But I think for now, this is going to function for us. Not the prettiest of things. We'll work on pretty in a little bit once we have a little more materials to build with. But the functionality is there. And so that finishes out the entirety of chapter 1, and we can move on to chapter 2 in our next episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching this. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.